But yeah, luckily he talked me out of it, and he talked me down, and we went to a crisis center, which was it was part of the it was a wing. I guess it's a wing or a part of the hospital. It's a section of the hospital that I've been at. And there was this guy, and he said, you know, Owen. I think it's a place where Owen goes for therapy because Owen sees a therapist every month or every once a week. I think something like that. He sees a therapist pretty often, which is something that I'm going to start doing. And an actual good therapist. Let me get it. I haven't gotten into all that yet, but I will. He took me to this crisis place, which was a part of the hospital, and there was a guy there that said, "If you ever feel this way again, I need you to come here." And I kind of blew him off because I was just like, fuck this guy. I was just already in that mood of just fuck it all. I was just listening to him. He's like, yeah, it's crazy that you tried to kill yourself, yada yada. And if you ever feel that way again, I want you to come here instead. Like I would do that. Like why would a person who it felt very like he didn't give a shit. It felt very routine. You know what I'm saying? But a couple days go by. It must have been the next day, huh? Either next day or the day after, because it was when Lynn got here. The day after Lynn got here, yeah. So it was like 2 days after then. I It happened again. I just all the pressure and all the it just started happening again, and I had no desire to take myself down to the crisis center. Like, what are they gonna do? And so, I was gonna I was gonna take all of my. I have a lot of fucking Xanax here because not only what I had from leftover that I switched off of prematurely for the Klonopin, but also all of what Owen gave me, since he can't have his benzos with his painkillers. So I was just gonna fucking down them all. I was just gonna just real quick just do it. And I'd be lying to say that I didn't want Lynn to catch me, because she did, and she took me down to. She said, "Get in the car," and she hid everything from me. And the whole drive over there, I was like, "This is such bullshit. This is nothing. Like, why are we doing this?" And first, we went to an urgent care center, just a place that I knew would see me immediately. And I told them what I was going through, and they were like, "Oh, we can't handle benzo withdrawal here, so we need you to go to the ER." Sure enough, I saw that same guy again that I saw the first time that Owen took me to the crisis center. The guy who told me to come back there, and he said, he said, God, I don't remember. No, he didn't say anything. He just told me to. He just told me he was happy that I made it there instead. And I told him everything that was going on, and obviously I was very shaken and I was very fucked up. But the whole drive over there, I was telling Lynn, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. I don't know why you're making me do this, because I had it completely. I was set. I was set in my mind. As soon as I got back home, I was gonna I was gonna do it. I was just gonna take all my pills, and just whatever happened to my consciousness, whatever, I was gonna get out of my fucking body. That's what I wanted. That's all I gave a shit about. That's all I cared about. That's all I wanted to do, was not be in this. Whatever Travis is, whatever this place is that I'm in, whatever this thing is, I wanted the fuck out of it. I wanted the fuck out of it, and now, like immediately. So I told Lynn, I was like, "This is bullshit." As soon as, because I've been to ERs before, like this. You guys know I've been to ERs for panic attacks like 13 times now. I'm $13,000 in debt with a Houston hospital for nothing. They never did anything to me. They just told me that I'm okay and to relax and to breathe. It was just, just going to the emergency room because I thought that my heart was going to give out and stuff. So I I was expecting the same outcome. And I was like, as soon as I get back, I'm just going to do it. But this time they actually took me in. And I think it's because I told them that I was going to do it. First, they put me in like this weird, like, it's almost like a hole. Like they like a hole in prison. Like, first they just locked me in this room with just a camera in it. And it's just like this weird, it's just this like creepy ass bench and like just it really looks like a fucking crazy person room. It's like this, less than 10 by 10, just has a bench and padded walls and a camera, and then a door with a window for the people outside that are working at the desks and stuff to see you. But I just pulled myself up on the, so like the door's here and like the bench is over here. I pulled myself up next, and the camera's up here. So it's door, bench, and then camera is up here. I pulled myself to the side of the door because I didn't want to be looked at, and I was just trying to get as out of the camera as possible. I just didn't want to be looked at. I just wanted to go, you know? I wanted to go home and just take the fucking Xanax and just go. That's all I was focused on. And they were just giving me all this shit. And they had some people come in and evaluate me, including the first guy who I met when Owen took me down, who said to come down. And he was really happy. Really cool guy. I wish I remembered his name. But he came down and he's like, well, I'm happy you came here, and I think we're going to be able to help you. And for the first 3 or 4 days, I thought that was complete bullshit. I thought they were just holding me just so that they could. But after the first, 8 hours in that room, they eventually wheeled me up to the psychiatric ward, where I spent the next 8 days actually. And I just got out. And here I am making this video. So let me tell you what happened in the psych ward. First night there was weird. First night there was scary. Because first of all, I realized I probably don't deserve to be there because there are actually crazy people. Now here's the deal. I don't like to use the word crazy in that sense, because at a certain level, because it's all subjective. You know what I'm saying? What you consider to be crazy is normal to me. You know, when I start talking about like the universe and solipsism and all that, while it sounds normal to me, it sounds crazy to other people. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like to use the word crazy very much. I don't like to use the word crazy in that context. The only time you'll ever really see me use the word crazy in that context is referring to people like James Holmes and stuff, who just are just evil people who just want to rain death upon people. That's what I consider crazy. Or like the virgin killer guy who just got mad because he couldn't get pussy and he went and killed a bunch of people. That's what I consider crazy. But my first night there, I got the sense that they were trying, because there were actually people there who had like deep schizophrenia and like deep shit. Like half the people there, you just look into their eyes and you can tell that they're not looking into your eyes. Like they're just not there. But let me tell you something. Those are the most beautiful people you will ever meet in your life. Those are the most beautiful people you will ever meet in your entire life. First, let me just go over my first night there. My first night there, I thought they were going to try to make me crazy, because they put me in a room with a guy named Ben who just couldn't stop walking and talking to the wall. Like I couldn't even sleep. I usually don't have a problem sleeping once I get to sleep, but this dude just kept waking up and like talking to the fucking wall, like having a conversation. And then he would get up and he'd like just walk around. Well, I found out later he had restless leg syndrome and stuff. He almost lost his foot because he like at some point in like Mississippi, he tried to, like, he just got up and he just started walking in the snow for like, he almost walked. He said he walked into another state. Like, I guess I assume he meant another state in the country, like another physical state. But Ben was cool. He was my first roommate. Ben was, he was a good guy, but he was another one of those guys that when you would just look into his eyes, you could tell there was, he wasn't all there. You know what I'm saying? It's not that he wasn't all there. It's that he wasn't all there with you. He's more in him than out here. And, he told me about the stuff they had him on, and he talked to me, and I'd like to believe that I gave him some help, because I was and this sounds kind of shitty to say, but there's no other way to put it. I was one of the more sane people there. So while like at night when the psychiatrists and therapists are obviously at home asleep, it's just the other patients, and then they have nurses and stuff that sit and watch and just make sure everybody's okay. They sit outside with the reception. And but lights are out at 11 and you're supposed to go into your room. You can come out if you want, and you can come out and you can like read some books or just hang out, but you're really not supposed to turn on the lights or make too much noise or anything. Also, no music, no TV, no nothing. It was 8 days of just me. Like for me, it was just 8 days with a fucking pad and a pen. Like I just fucking filled like notepads and shit. Like, oh, and trust me, I know fucking everything there is to know about my car. I read through all of the BB Bibles as much as I could. Obviously, they're all in Japanese, but yeah, I went through like all these fucking things and these. I know of every fucking possible modification and style there is for the Scion XB and Toyota BB. But yeah, so I was talking to Ben, and Ben said that I helped him before he left. And a lot of people had been there for a long time. For the next while, if it's okay, I want to talk about some of the people I met there. But yeah, Ben was the walking guy. Ben was he couldn't stop walking. He always had to be walking and walking and walking and walking. And but when you actually got to talk to him and he would talk to you, he would seem like a regular dude. You know, obviously he was slow, and I don't know if he was slow because of the drugs they had him doped up on or whatever, but you know, he was coherent. He could understand what you were saying, and you could carry a conversation with him. But then there was Eric. Eric was another guy that I met on my first night there. Eric is one of the most beautiful people I've ever met. Eric is probably one of the main reasons that I got through it. Because Eric is a man who everybody else labeled him as like the most crazy one. He had been there for months. And this dude, he's so in his head that he's not even him. Whenever he's reading, he's incredibly intelligent. He has read every book there is. I swear to fucking God. He has seen every movie. He has read every book. He has done everything. He can tell you everything about everything about everything. This dude's information is insane. Like, once he starts going, he just goes and goes, and like just the way he talks and like his concepts of stuff are so like it's beyond words. The dude was immensely intelligent. It was just he couldn't present it. He didn't know how to sort it in his brain. So the way that his brain worked, from what I gathered with my time with him, was that he, instead of like when you watch a movie and you're watching people do things, you know how sometimes when you're watching a movie with another person, you'll be like, oh, that's just like something I would do, or oh, there goes fucking Travis, there's some fucking stupid ass, he always does that shit. With Eric, when he's watching a movie, he does that, but he actually becomes the person in his head. Like, he's not sitting there watching the TV, he's not sitting there watching it, he is it, he's in it. And like but his body here will commentate on it. His body here will commentate and say, you know, oh, there's my wife, you know, there's my kids, there's my, you know, whatever. But like, he really believes he's a character. And when he's reading the books, he'll talk to you about books as if he was a character in the book and he went through it. And the first night, they have this thing called the comfort room. The comfort room is the room where I can keep talking for a second. The comfort room is the room where if you're having a really, really, really bad panic attack, that's where they take you, and they just sit you down and they give you everything they possibly can to just stop the attack. Luckily, I never had to go into the comfort room. It actually seemed kind of scary, but that first night there, I heard my name being called. I was just walking up and down the hallway, and I heard, let me stop and make the next video.